talk. I'm going to be looking back and forth just to let you guys know. But let me introduce myself on YouTube. So what's up, everybody? I'm here doing a live chat talking about Michael Jackson, but not just Michael Jackson, but artistry in general and astrology. Okay, like the two together. And I put things in layman's terms. You know what I mean? Like regular people terms, so that if you're not even an astrology nerd, you can understand. And if you're into astrology and you're not like super into like art and stuff, you'll understand. So anyway, what's up, everybody? So today is the 10th anniversary of Michael Jackson passing away, which sucks. But and before I get into anything, I'm going to give a disclaimer. Okay, I don't give a flying mother about anybody who wants to talk about political this and that and social justice warrior stuff. If you support this, I don't support a damn thing. I'm here to talk about art and astrology. Okay, that's it, period, point blank. All right, yes, I have a Michael Jackson shirt on. Doesn't mean I support anything negative. And no, I am a kid of the 80s and 90s. MJ will always be a part of my upbringing, and you know what I'm saying? So I don't, just spare me, please. If anybody has anything to say about that, just go away. Go take it to somebody else who cares about all that. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, Michael Jackson unfortunately passed 10 years ago today. I don't know if you guys remember that day. I do, because I was working in radio. So shout out to my radio people like Hex. I was working in radio and we were working an event. And actually my son called me and was like, "Mom, did you hear Michael Jackson passed away?" And I was like, "What?" Because, I've raised him right on Michael Jackson's, artistry too. I was like, "No way." And then I was working and then I heard the announcement actually on the station I was working for, because it was a station that played that type of music. And they played one of my all-time favorite Michael Jackson songs, which is, it says "This Place Hotel," but the lyrics are "Heartbreak Hotel." And they played that song. I just busted out crying. Like I couldn't help it. I grew up with this music. So it was a sad day for us all. And, but anyhow, so Michael Jackson, talking about him and artistry and astrology, what do they all have to do with each other? So, Michael Jackson was born as a Virgo. A lot of people know, oh, he's a Virgo. Yeah, but he had the sun in Virgo the day that he was born, but the moon was in Pisces, and his rising sign, which has a lot to do with your personality as well, was also in Pisces. So what does that mean? Okay, the Virgo and Pisces are opposite signs too. So they're on this axis. Okay, it's an axis that when you have part of your big three in astrology, which is your sun, moon, and your rising, they're the biggest parts of your personality. When you have those, any two of them in opposite signs, you're always trying to find balance in life, and it's very difficult to do that. Okay, and I'm going to tell you guys right now, like keeping it 100, the Virgo Pisces axis, I find it to be the most difficult for people to balance things out and be a human being and a spirit, like a physical being and a spiritual being at the same time, because we are both like a body and a spirit, right? Well, Pisces is the sign of the spirit, your soul, and connecting to spirituality and whatever is like beyond the physical realm. And then Virgo is a sign of the physical. It's super physical. Like it's Virgo rules like are paying attention to your body and like what goes on in your body, and taking care of your physical body and the routines that you have to do that. That's what Virgo rules. And then Pisces is like, your spiritual well-being. Like, do you pray? Do you meditate? How do you like escape from seeing reality so clearly every single day? That's what Pisces, Virgo rules, or Pisces and Virgo, whatever. That it's that axis. See. So I find that a lot of great artists, it doesn't matter what kind of art you do, they have placements in either Pisces or Virgo on that axis, or if you're a super astrology nerd, you know that it can be the ruling planet of Pisces, which is Neptune, the ruling planet of Virgo, which is Mercury, in aspect to one another. It can be Pisces is the 12th sign, so the 12th house, okay, or the 6th house, which is Virgo, Virgo's the sixth sign. So if you have anything in those, at the same time, it still counts as like you have that struggle between realizing that you're a physical being and also that you're a spiritual being, not being too far on either end of reality versus like, escapism. So some of the greatest artists in the world, they have that axis, but they are very tortured on the inside because they're always trying to balance that out. So if we take Michael Jackson for an example, like I said, he's a Virgo sun, a Pisces moon, speculative Pisces rising. I think his mom gave his birth time, so we'll roll with that. So he was very grounded in reality in a lot of ways, sometimes a little too grounded in reality. That means, he saw a lot of details. He's very detailed, right? Very detailed, very like, very meticulous. I see this, and this. And, that's the job of Virgo, is to see the details and be meticulous about them, right? And then he's got the Pisces side, which can like tune out of all of that and just kind of feel things and then do things based on what you feel and express what you feel. And it's like magical. Pisces does rule magic. So he had both. So if you're a person that you see all the details and the problems and the flaws in life, you see reality, you're a realist, but also at the same time, you see the opposite, which is there's magic in the world. There's things that you don't see physically here, but you know that they exist. You tap into another realm outside of Earth, and like you allow yourself to receive energy and messages through that, in which you like, you let that move you. That's where Pisces and Neptune, they rule music, movies, photography, anything that requires you to be a visionary, like envision things and not just worry about work and crunching numbers and like all this like practical stuff. Pisces doesn't care about stuff like that. Pisces is like, what else is out there? And, how can I reach that, even if it doesn't look attainable to me, even if I can't see it? So when you have both, it's a struggle. You know what I mean? But what you can do is, when you find the balance on that axis, that's when some of the most like the dopest artists, the dopest creators in the world, they're able to provide us with their gifts of art and music and dance. So if you look at Michael Jackson, once again, he was able to move with such precision. Like he was very meticulous about his moves being on point, right? He was very like detailed, and yeah, he executed moves like with precision a lot. But he still had this magic, like, you know what I'm saying? That he would just move in these ways that everybody would like, whoa, how did you do that? Like, how's your body able to move like that? Because he was tuned in. He was tuned into everything within the songs, not just like the beat and then you just freaking move around, bounce around like an idiot, like with no direction. No, the Pisces Virgo axis people, they understand there is direction, there is counts. Like Virgo energy is about numbers and like it's about numbers and counts. Those are the people that they have to count when they dance. 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Like that's Virgo right there. Pisces is like freestyle. You just move. You allow what you hear and you feel to move you. It does, and then naturally you understand the timing of those movements without having to count. So that's why some of the greatest artists have both, because they can count, they understand like the calculations of things, they understand the practical side of things and the order of things, but they also allow themselves to be moved by their feelings based on what's being given to them at that time. His dance style says it all. Yeah, it does. It does. Like he's able to move, like I said, he's able to move in all these like crazy ways, but there's still some sort of calculated way about it. You know what I mean? It's not just like freestyle. It's both freestyle and like order to things. So because of that, the artistry that comes out of people that have that axis is just like so dope. I'm really into art myself, like all different kinds of art. I'm not the best artist in the world. I don't claim to be in any type of way, but I am into different types of art. I've dabbled in dance, in video, photo, music, DJing, everything. And I can tell you what, yeah, like you have to have an understanding of a lot of that stuff, like of like the timing of things, the mathematics of stuff, and also like be able to tune into what you feel and just let that flow through you so that you can like produce some great stuff. You know what I mean? Let me look on, let's see, I'm going to YouTube right now to see the chat. But yeah, so now going into like why people that have energy on this axis, why they have such a hard time with life. It's because the Virgo side sees reality. Like I said, it like sees all the problems of the world, and it sees yeah, it sees reality, but it can see reality a little too much to where it's like all that's focused on. And then the Pisces side doesn't want to see any of that, doesn't care about it. So you got both. So you're being pulled on both sides a lot. Hold on a sec. Let me see. Open link in new tab. See if anybody is commenting on YouTube. Yeah, but I know it's really late, so if you guys are joining me, thank you. Oops. Okay. But anyway, so yeah, I'm gonna look at the YouTube comments because there's not really any much on. It keeps disconnecting. Oh, well, of course. Of course, Mercury retro. Okay. So yeah, anyway, Yasmin on YouTube says Kurt Cobain is a Virgo rising Pisces sun. Yeah, okay, so that's another example. There's Kurt Cobain from Nirvana, right? And he was very tortured as an artist too, like on the inside emotionally, because he saw a lot of flaws. He saw reality, but then it's like you see so much of reality, but then it's so bad that you want to escape it. So then they go to the other end, the Pisces end, which is escaping it through sometimes through your artistry, writing songs, playing music, dancing, doing whatever art you know how to do or whatever. But then some people, they turn to like substances to escape through. They turn into drugs and alcohol to drown out everything so that they don't see so much of reality. Because it's torturous to see like all this detailed stuff, and then also you see your own flaws a lot too, and that can be very painful. You know what I mean? Henry says this is better than the Instagram. Okay, yeah. You know what? I think I'm gonna sign off of Instagram then. So if you guys are still watching on Instagram, then go to YouTube, and I'm going to just talk more about this on there, and it'll be on YouTube, like saved. I think I'll leave this up for 24 hours or whatever on Instagram, but to see more, go on YouTube. But yeah, side note, you guys, don't forget I'm teaching a class. I'm teaching a class on the basic language of astrology. So, my style. I can keep things entertaining and fun and everything, but I'm also like super nerdy and detailed. So if you are a beginner with astrology, you don't know the language very well, but you want to, then make sure you hit up my website for my class. I'll leave all the info, on the videos and stuff. Or actually, the link is in my Instagram bio. So make sure you check it out. June 26th. Yeah. But it'll be available for replay. Okay, so I'm going to sign off of IG. So go join me on YouTube or check out the replay on YouTube if you're seeing this like later. So peace out to IG. I'll see y'all later. Okay. All right. So back here to YouTube. Good. So I can only look in one place now. That's better. Okay. So escapism. Back to that. Escapism through drugs or alcohol, because you want to numb everything. You want to drown everything out. You want to drown out reality, and you just want to be in that zone. See, the thing is with people who are on the Pisces or the Neptune or the 12th house side, once we get in our zones, our creative zones, we want to stay there. That energy can give you this really dope state of bliss to where you're just floating. I'll tell you one thing, as a person who's very artsy, like that's what you do. You get in your zone, whether you're dancing, you're singing, you're writing poetry, you are like editing a video or shooting video, like whatever you're doing that's creative, you want to stay there. You want to stay there. You don't want to come back down to this mother place, to deal with all your problems, your responsibilities, your schedule, your routine, and the demands of everybody, and hopping in that hamster wheel every single day of working and doing this routine, mundane stuff. You don't always want to be there, but it pulls you and it calls you. If you have both energies, Virgo and Pisces, 12th house and 6th, it pulls you. You always have to be you're pulled down there, right? Down here to earth. And it's like, you can do that stuff. You can get in those routines. You can do work and everything. You could be organized. You can have order to things. But then you'll always have that other side, that Pisces side, calling you, like, come up here, hang out up here, create some stuff, do some, create some stuff and just kind of float. Don't worry about what time it is. See, Virgo energy it is your schedules and routines. Like when you have a job, especially 9 to 5s, that's total Virgo stuff, right? A 9 to 5 every single day, Monday through Friday. You have the same schedule. You get in traffic. You get your coffee. You sit at your desk. You do the spreadsheets. Like that's all that Virgo stuff. And then Pisces is like the floating hippie that's just like, I don't know what I'm doing, man. I don't know where I'm going, but like this is cool, and your mind is so open to everything. To it like Pisces energy, it rules like taking psychedelics and stuff like that. Anything that helps you to see things in like 5D, and tap into these other worlds. That's all the Pisces stuff. And then Virgo is the opposite. It's like, 2D, like just a flat world, and it looks all blocky and choppy, like the old school video games, like the earliest ones, like in the arcades, like Galaga and what are some other ones? You guys help me out here. It's late. It's like those video games are like Virgo. It's like blocky, and then like the Pisces is like the newer ones where you're in it's like virtual reality. Like, whoa, it's really this other world, and you can see it, like the colors and the details. Like I don't know. It's surreal. It's real versus surreal. So let's see. Denise says Virgo moon gets to work on time. Pisces smokes blunt on the way to work. A lot of them do. I'm a Pisces moon. I'm not gonna say that's me, but I will listen to music on the way to work. Yes, and just kind of zone out and not even pay attention to the time. And then it's just like, oh crap! Now look what time it is. Well, I didn't care because I'm in my zone. I'm in my Pisces zone. I don't want to care about what time it is. And another person who has this energy is Prince. Prince also has, both energies. Well, see, he had Venus in the 6th house. Okay. Once again, 6th house, Virgo, very similar. He had Neptune in the sign of his 1st house. Neptune rules Pisces. It rules all that Pisces stuff too. And then he's a Pisces moon on top of that. Okay. So he was very, like, remember how Prince, he did not allow clocks and watches around. He did not allow his entourage to remind him of what time it was. And it's funny because, he helped produce and stuff for the band, The Time. But anyway, that's besides the point. I digress. But yeah, like he didn't allow, he worked really odd hours. It was like whenever he was inspired, that's when he was going to work, and everybody else had to just get with the program. Whatever time of day he was inspired, even if it was 4:00 in the morning, he didn't care. You better get your ass up and, dive into this art with him. It's inspiration. Like whenever you're inspired to do something, that's when you do it. That's the Pisces side. Virgo is like, oh no, at 5 500 hours, that's what time you wake up. And then at 800 hours, that's exactly the time that you should blow. Like, that's all Virgo. And it's about freaking out about stuff like that if it's not exact. You know what I mean? So if you have both sides, if you have both, can you see how that can be torturous? And unfortunately, that's what has led to a lot of the greatest artists who have this axis activated within them every single day and trying to find the balance. So it's what led to their demise. Um, Beautiful, like artistry, they're now like legends. You know what I mean? Like somebody mentioned Kurt Cobain. And then, we have Michael Jackson, we have Prince. Um, and look what happened to them. You know what I mean? It was just, life is very hard to deal with when you are so aware of the spiritual and so aware of the physical both at the same time. They have the hardest time being human beings, let me tell you, because, and I have a lot of friends who are artists too, different types of art, even hairstylists, makeup artists, that's art too. Like, you have to tune out from like the gray, mundane, like, it's like seeing a bunch of houses that look the same and they're all the same color, they're all like beige, right? Like, that's like the Virgo side. And then the Pisces side is like, well, how can we add some graffiti or like some different colors, some neon, some, something else to like brighten this up? It's seeing things differently, you know what I mean? I hope I'm making sense. Um, so it's like, yeah, it's both, one versus the other. But yeah, so I have a lot of friends who are artists, and so that's the way that you think and you see the world, is in all these different colors. And also, like, if you do things with music, you hear everything, you hear all the instruments, you hear all the little sounds, you hear all that stuff, right? Um, but then like the Virgo side is like flat, they may see the details and stuff, but they don't like tune in and tap in. It's just data and info that you have to process and take notes, and like it's more flat, you know what I mean? I hope I'm making sense. So when you have both, it's a struggle. But the thing is, I was saying, yeah, I have a lot of friends who are artists. I'm very artsy myself, a lot of you guys know, and it is a struggle because the Virgo side makes us know and realize that in the real world, you have to work. You have to work hard. You have to have a schedule. You have to have a routine. You need that stuff. And it pulls us there. It makes us, so like wrapped up in that. But when we're wrapped up in that, there's a part of us that just yearns to be out there on the Pisces side and doing our art. And it calls us. But then when we're so much over there, okay, on that end of the axis, then the Virgo side will call us and be like, it's either it calls within us or other people bring us back down there and say, hey, don't forget, you got to do this. You got to do this. What time is it? Do you realize the time? Like, and then we're like, oh, all right, I guess I'll come back down to earth, So imagine that on a daily basis, back and forth, back and forth. It can make you a little crazy, I'm not saying everybody who has it is crazy, but a lot of them do have actual like mental health things that they have suffered from. And that's why they've, like that goes in a different direction with astrology and like medical stuff. But still, that's an everyday struggle for artists. And, I have a lot of artist friends, and when they have to work regular jobs, it's like some of them can handle it, but some of them, they're like, when I'm at work and I'm doing practical stuff, I know I should be somewhere else. And they think about their artistry, like, they'll like daydream off into that direction a lot. When they have this practical job, I was like that a lot when I worked like all the cubicle corporate accounting, number crunching jobs, spreadsheets, and you can't have any errors. Like when I was there, it's like, I can do this because I have like some planets in my 6th house. So I'm like, I can do this, I can roll with it. But then my Pisces moon is like, hey, what about this? Did you notice this like cool thing, or like this cool idea? Or like when I used to be heavily into dance, I would be sitting there at my desk in this corporate job and then listening to music. And then as soon as everybody left and I was the last one there, I would be practicing. I brought my camera. I would be practicing break in and stuff, and like just filming myself and like trying to work on that, because I couldn't help it. Like all day, I would be doing this practical stuff, and then my mind would like still like, what about this move, and try this out. Like it would go there. So if any of you guys feel me on that, let me know. But I have a lot of friends that are like that too, and it's like we know that we have to pay bills and this and that, but in our heart, in our souls, like we just want to be able to do our art and just be. We don't want to deal with all the other stuff, all the other practical stuff. um we just don't want to. So yeah, it can be an everyday struggle. So I mean, going back to Michael Jackson, Pisces moon, Virgo sun, that right there, it means he was born during a full moon phase. I don't know if it was exact. I don't have his birth chart up, but being born in a full moon phase, you're always back and forth. So let me see what you guys are saying in the chat real quick. Oh, thank you, Yasmin. Thank you guys for the positive comments and stuff too. Oh, what's up, Astro Alyssa? Okay. Versace. Oh, what was Versace's? What's his chart like? Does he have like the Virgo Pisces thing? Okay, designing. Yeah, that's another Virgo North Node, Pisces South Node. You always escape, Tatiana. Yeah, you know what? And like I have some friends, people close to me that have that same nodal axis, or it's either the Virgo Pisces or it's in the 6th and the 12th house. And they have a hard time. They really do. They have a hard time, like some of them with keeping jobs and like still doing their art, keeping up with their art and also their regular jobs. They struggle with that a lot because they know that they're so freaking dope and talented. It means like the South Node there means you came here. You came here already having been an artist in a past life. You came here with those gifts already, and you just that's your default settings. You want to stay back there within that. And then, but you know that your soul's direction is to be able to do the Virgo thing, to make a living for yourself, be more practical, be on time, schedules, and all that stuff. And Virgo represents taking care of your physical body. And then because you're a physical being, right? So you have to run your body, like you have to remember routines of waking up, drinking water, giving your body fuel and all that stuff. Like you have to remember it. And not that you're not just a spirit floating around that can live off of freaking air and vibes. You know what I'm saying? Like you can live off of music and vibes and your body doesn't need anything. Those people right there, they struggle with like remembering to eat, remembering to do some routine things, with their physical self. So, another person who had this axis is Vanity. You guys remember Prince's protege, Vanity? I think she had the nodes in her 6th and 12th house axis. And so she struggled a lot with being a physical and a spiritual being. And it showed because, she was off in that Piscean direction, the 12th house direction a lot, with being artsy, escaping through substances and stuff like that. And then because of that, she forgot that she was a physical being. So what happened was she ended up destroying her physical body because she was escaping through drugs, right? Drugs is the Pisces side, being very meticulous about your health. Your physical health is the Virgo side. So she reverted back to, I'll have to see. I know I have her chart, but I don't have it up. But yeah, she's an example. I remember that so clearly that she had that access too. So yeah, she tapped into the spiritual and she went in that direction. But she suffered a lot because she didn't know, like the North Node is what your soul is here to do this time that it didn't do last time. It hasn't done before. It's like new territory. And it's like, well, let's try this as a soul. Let's try to go in this direction or whatever. So she, you know, she didn't have like a lot of she had a hard time with the physical side of life, let's just say that. Just like sometimes people with the North Node in Virgo or the sixth house, or maybe with Mercury, I would assume too, they are very much in their south node, so they engage in like all the, substances and everything. So yeah, anyway, I don't want to repeat myself, but yeah, she had a hard time with that too. Yasmin says, yeah, I agree, I fight with myself, but you're having planets in your sixth house helps. Yeah, it does. The mental breakdowns. So as wild as a Virgo, you tell yourself your emotions are not as important as your work. Yeah, you literally break down because you neglect your mental health. Yeah, that's very true. Very true. The Pisces side can deal with your like mental and emotional and spiritual well-being, while Virgo is just the physical, pretty much. It can be mental too because it's ruled by Mercury, which rules your mind. But yeah, so that's pretty much what I wanted to say, is that um some of the best artists, like I was at my homegirl's house the other day. We just get together now and just create stuff and DJ and practice, spinning records and do photo and video stuff. It's like so dope to have a partner in crime to just dive into our creative stuff like once in a while. But anyway, we were watching these videos on some directors, film directors, and there was a couple of them that like they were very detailed with stuff, but they still had that visionary dreamer perspective of life to be able to create scenes that are just like there's details about them, but they're still like super dope, like visually, to where it takes your imagination somewhere else. So it had both, and I was like, yeah, and like some of them were very like tortured on the inside, and I don't remember their names because I was in a zone over there, but I'm pretty sure they probably have that axis somehow lit up too, to where they are very detailed, but they're also like, visionary. um but yeah, so like I said, some of the greatest artists have both sides, but look what happens. Sometimes you could be too much in one or the other, and then unfortunately we lost MJ to drugs. We lost Prince to drugs, and I was listening to, I think, The Breakfast Club, or one of those, like, one of those shows that one of the artists interview stuff on YouTube channels, and they were talking about like, oh, how ironic is it that we lost both Michael Jackson and Prince, two of the biggest artists from the 80s and early 90s, to the same thing. Well, they're both Pisces moons, number one. Those guys don't really know about astrology like we do here. You know how we do here. They don't really know about it. So they're like, how ironic. No, it's not ironic. They're both Pisces moons. Neptune is transiting through Pisces right now, which is the ruler of Pisces, which brings more of that emphasis on like drugs, prescription drugs, escapism. Neptune dissolves, Pisces dissolves, so it can dissolve your vitality, unfortunately, and dissolve your health, dissolve your physical, your mental health, and to where you're just floating. You don't even know what's going on in the real world or with your physical body. So no, it's not a coincidence. No, it's not. They both have that same energy, but it's just pieced differently within their astrological like puzzle, which is their chart. And yeah, so we blossomed both to prescription drugs. Life just got too hard to be like trying to maintain that balance, that Pisces Virgo axis balance. You know what I mean? So yeah. Oh, thank you, Denise. Best in the West. Hey, West Side in this mother right here. You guys know how I do. Okay. Yeah. Oh, the drugs killed off Bruce Lee. I forgot. I thought Bruce Lee accidentally got shot by like a gun on set that had like a real bullet, but they didn't know. Or was that Brandon Lee? I forgot. It's late at night. My bad. And I'm a Pisces moon. Like I said, we're like out there. But yeah. So yeah. I mean, that's pretty much what I wanted to say. The reason why some of these artists are like just super dope is just because you notice their movements are so sharp, but yet it still flows like along with the music. Who I also think has this, and I know this is gonna like age me and all that, but hey, I have one of my kids knows about this music too. Okay, so don't think I'm just some old lady. But El DeBarge. If you don't know who he is, he was a singer in the '80s. I had a big old crush on him. But anyway, I believe he has that too. I think he's a Pisces moon, or I don't have his chart up, but I just remember studying the DeBarges. His whole family, they all struggle with drugs and addiction and stuff. And there's a lot of heavy Neptune Pisces energy within that family when I looked at whoever's birthday was available. And I'm pretty sure they have the Virgo too. I'm sure El DeBarge has a Virgo or sixth house stuff because he has the false, like the high pitched voice that's very Virgo. Like Virgo rules that. So he struggles a lot too, you know, but he's such a dope artist. Like some of the dopest artists, they're able to just hop on instruments and not even have to do things like read music. Like Prince was like that. Prince said that he tried to take piano lessons to where they're like 1, 2, 3, and 4 and reading the sheet music and all that. He was like, I was one and done, man. Like I took one lesson and I was like, this ain't for me. I just want to, he's like, I just want to hop on and play. And he played all those instruments, you know, just like it just flowed through him. That's that Neptune side that just naturally knew, understood the order of things. And, you know, with music and the order of like, okay, like for example, in music, you know how like in dance and lots of things, they count 1, 2, you know, they count like bars and this and I don't know all the terminologies myself. Okay. Forgive me. Like you can say I'm a dummy or whatever, but I'm a Pisces moon. Okay. Like I have the same thing. I can't, when I used to dance, I'm getting back into it, but not the same as 10, 15 years ago, but you know, I'm trying here. But when I was really into it, it was very hard for me to take those group classes that everybody takes where they're like counting, they teach you with counts. I can't learn with counts. I learn by hearing the music, hearing which sound, which lyric, which part of the song you do a certain move to. That's how I remembered stuff. When people did counts, it threw me off, right? Because Pisces is go with the flow. So you go with the flow of the song. And the same thing with a lot of Piscean people, Pisces moons, that they hop on like music, like instruments, and they just play like Prince did. I think El DeBarge was like that too. He just hop on and just play. You feel things out. You feel out the keys. Like I've messed around on the keyboard and piano. I'm not saying like, oh, I'm so dope. I've messed around on them a lot since I was like born, since I was a baby. My grandma always had a piano at her house, you know? So like, I would just feel things out. I learned how to play different little melodies, like Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. Every kid learns that, right? I learned how to play it just by messing around. Which key is which? Okay, which one? Okay, and then like you just play around with it, and then you catch on to it. I have a friend. I haven't seen him in a long time, but he's a super dope dancer, and also he plays the piano. He's a Pisces sun. I remember like he can just hop on the piano and just start playing stuff. And I remember I tested him out. I said, I would play a melody, right? I would play a song. I would play a song on like my phone. And I'd be like, okay, can you play this? And he'd listen, like, okay, hold up. He'd listen to it and then he'd just feel around the keys. And then he would figure it out and he would play it within like minutes. Like, you guys know I'm a fan of hip hop and rap and gangster rap and stuff. You know the song Notorious Thugs, the Bone and Biggie song, Bone Thugs and Biggie Smalls. You know how they have the piano melodies? You know, I played that for him. I'm like, can you play this? And he listened for a little bit and then he felt around and he could play it. And he's a Pisces. I don't know. I don't remember what else is in his chart, but that's just how people with this energy are. Like we just receive things, we hear things, and it's like way beyond the practical. So there was no like, he didn't need to read sheet music to, oh, let me find the sheet music and download it so I can play this. No, it's just you feel around. And, you know, it's about you feel things and you do things based on that feeling. And the Virgo side of life doesn't comprehend that. They want proof and facts of why and how you got that information and how did you figure, can you tell me the counts and the notes? And the Pisces side is like, what? Who cares? Like, I don't know. I just do it. I just did it. when I worked the last like super corporate job that I worked at as a Pisces moon, my boss was a Virgo sun, Capricorn moon, double earth, needed proof and facts. He would always say that I need the facts, I need the proof, I need the facts, right? And we'd have these stupid meetings every week, and I'd be like, he asked me questions about an account, and I could tell him, oh yeah, I spoke to so and so, this is this and this, and he's like, well, where's the proof? Where's the facts? You didn't write down the notes. And I'm like, look, dude, I just know, I remember that I talked to them, and I remember what was said, and this is what was done. But because it wasn't written down or typed up, it wasn't proof or facts enough for him to like trust it, you know? But the Pisces side of me is like, dude, why are you acting like I'm dumb? Okay? Like I just know. That's Pisces, is I just know. I just know these things. Virgo is like, I don't trust that. There needs to be proof, right? So when you have both, just imagine the inner conflict of it all that you go through on a daily basis, you know? So yeah, Jack says, I have Pisces in 6th house of work. I'm a dancer. I don't do 4 counts. I have to hear the music and the words and pick it up straight away. Thank you. Thank you. 4 counts is like teaching to dance to robots. It throws me off. Yeah. I mean, some people could do it. Some people struggle with it. You know, everybody's different. Everybody's different. But yeah, I mean, I don't want to make this too long, you guys. It's already been like 40 minutes. But I just wanted to talk about this because I was thinking about this the other day anyway. And then, you know, I just realized today that it was that day that's like the anniversary of Michael Jackson's passing. But it's like both the Pisces and Virgo axis, both signs, what they seek is perfectionism in their own ways. Like Virgo is like precise, perfect, you know. Pisces is the ideal, the idealizing things to be perfect in their world and in their vision. So yeah, you know, they both seek perfection. That's what they have in common as opposite signs. And you know, so that's what they have in common. Let me see what else is in my notes here. But yeah, so it's, my point is, it's hard for people that have that to deal with life a little bit more than other signs and energies. It's a little harder. But they do make some fantastic, beautiful art. Like, and you know, I know a lot of people who are DJs, and a lot of them have like a Mercury and Neptune aspect. And even the harsh and difficult ones, like Mercury square Neptune, Mercury opposite Neptune, to where maybe they may not be the most honest people at times, you know, or they may not always be able to provide you with the facts. Okay. But what they could do with their hands and their mind, which is Mercury, is phenomenal because it aspects Neptune, which is like divine creativity and artistry. It just flows through them to where they can just manipulate stuff like no other, you know? I know I have a friend who's a dancer, and they have that South Node in Pisces, North Node in Virgo. And they told me, you know, like recently, that whenever they're working their Virgo job, they feel like they should be just doing their art. They should be dancing all the time, and they should be somewhere else, which is doing their dance stuff, you know? So it's so hard to find that balance. It really is. It's not impossible to achieve though, especially if you have supporting planets in your chart. Like say you have the Pisces South Node, Virgo North Node, or vice versa. If you have some other stuff in Pisces or the 12th house, or with Neptune, or if you have some stuff in Virgo, 6th house, strong Mercury, like to support those nodes, then you can be more on one side or the other. They kind of work like that too. But yeah, it's definitely hard. You want to escape a lot when you have this. That's why they tune into, like, you know, a lot of people I know, like they'll drink or they'll like smoke weed a lot, like a lot of artists do. And that's why they do that though, is because of this struggle, this inner conflict at all times. yeah, so I guess I don't know. I think that's all I really have to say about that. um, it's possible to create some really dope stuff with this axis lit up in your personality in your natal chart. It really is. But yeah, I've noticed this a lot too lately, that because there's been a lot of like Neptunian transits right now. Transits. I have Neptune in Sagittarius. It's a mutable sign. There's been like stuff hanging out in Gemini, which opposes that. And, so like, and then there's Neptune and Pisces, which squares that. And then they've all been aspecting each other and activating my Neptune, which it can be art and escapism through art. And I have been running to art a lot, running back to art to escape like a lot of real world Virgo sixth house problems, like you got to do this. And then there's the order of things. And it's just like, oh my God, like it can get to be too overwhelming because you see reality, you see all the issues and problems, so much when you have that Virgo or sixth house energy, you see it and it takes over. It can make you like OCD about things. It makes things repeat in your mind, like these cycles of like, you gotta do this and there's this problem, this issue, and it becomes overwhelming. So you're like, oh, and then you need to run off to the Neptune, the Pisces side, and just say, you know what? I don't even see none of that right now. I don't. I can't, or else it'll make me have a freaking anxiety attack. That's why Virgo energy rules like stuff like that. Virgo is one of the signs that has a lot of anxiety. Virgo, or if you have planets in your sixth house, like you can struggle with anxiety a lot because of that very thing. So then what do? You run off to the Neptune, to the Pisces side, to escape it all. But maintaining a balance, it is possible. But unfortunately, for some of the greatest artists of all time, some of the legends, they couldn't get it right. They couldn't get it right this time. Maybe next time around they might, if they decide to come back, if they are sent back here. But that goes into a whole different other direction of whether or not spirits are, it's other spiritual stuff, of whether or not they want to come back to be incarnated again as souls and try this thing again. Some people do. I totally believe in that. They sometimes come back to try again and get that balance and give to the world. But these people though, a lot of times they're like, nah, I'm done. Like I've already been there, done that. I don't want to go back. I don't want to try the human thing again. And it's just too hard to balance all that stuff out. I would just rather be here as a spirit, like in my, floating, I'm saying, in Neptunian bliss. I don't want to go back down there to earth. Yeah. So anyway, you guys, that's it. So RIP to Mike. Hope he's doing well as a spirit. Hope he's happy as a spirit. And once again, I do not care for your, well, he did this. Just please keep that away from here. I'm sticking to spirituality, astrology, and art. Period. Point blank. Okay. All right. Denise said she was gonna say she doesn't think a Pisces moon Virgo sun would choose to come back. Yeah, I don't blame him. I don't blame him. I have the same axis, and I'm like, really? Would I want to come back? No, it's so hard to balance it all out. It really is. I am grateful that I'm not the escapist that turns to like indulging and engaging in like alcohol and drugs and all that. Like I just have my reasons why I don't. But I am still an escapist in some other ways. Like I said, I do it through art. Like I want to do it in healthy ways. So I'll write poetry or, listen to music and be emo in my zone or something else to get away. Or I'll go out dancing and mingling with people, like just catching all the vibes of the night and good music. That's my high right there. So I'm blessed that I have that, but there's others that have the same energetic makeup as me that unfortunately they don't, for some reason, like that's too difficult. But anyway, I don't want to be repetitive. Peace out, everybody. Thanks for joining me. And I will see you guys in my next video. Don't forget to look at the links below to see what I got going on astrologically as far as what I offer to everybody. And don't forget to watch your weekly forecasts. All right. Peace out.